morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rehab Christian Center virtual Sunday morning experience. I'm Dr. Talley, and it's so good to see you this morning, and certainly praying that you are having a tremendous weekend and that God is blessing you in a tremendous way. Listen, I'm so grateful you tuned in to share with us this morning, and I'm grateful to be here. Though we're not face to face, we certainly honor the presence of the Lord today, and grateful for all of you tuning in. Do me a favor. Let's get the number rolling. I've got a short program so I can get right into the word again. So let's get the party started. If you would, hit that like button, that love button on whatever network you are on. Fill it up with hearts on whatever network you're on. And then I want you to hit that @ symbol and tag 5 people and tell them to come on in the room this morning so that they can share in this awesome word. I am just grateful to be here, and I'm excited to share a word with you that I know is going to challenge you, because anytime in church you talk about money and forgiveness and love, people get real uptight. And so it's going to be tight for some of y'all today, but it's a very necessary message for your growth and your development. And at the end of the day, the Lord really spoke this to me this week and reminded me of a very important truth. And that is that at the end of the day, I don't think I want to be nothing else but effective. And so I want you to grow today. And I believe this message is going to help you grow if you will receive it. All right. And so hit that @ symbol, tag 5 people, tell them to tune in. We certainly honor today as Palm Sunday, and just hate not being in the building today. But again, reminded that the church is far bigger than a building. And I think we've all learned that in this last year. And so wherever you are, if you're at home, if you're in a church building, wherever you are, you can still celebrate the arrival of Christ, and how he then went from that moment to do the ultimate act of love, and that is dying for all of us so that we might live. And so I'm grateful to be here today and grateful to have your presence. Let's go through the networks really quickly. Facebook, good morning to you. It's good to see you virtually. If you would do me a favor, if you're in on the chat, if you're on the live stream via Facebook, make sure you jump in the room and just simply say good morning. Say good morning to everybody that's there. I want you to hit that like button and hold it down and turn it to a love button. And then on Facebook, if you would hit the @ symbol and tag 5 people and tell them to tune in. Let's get the number climbing quickly. I've got a quick and powerful word for you today, but I cannot wait to share it with you on forgiveness. And so Facebook, help me. Do me a favor. Hit that @ symbol, tag 5 of your Facebook friends. Tell them to get up and get prepared for an awesome word this morning that I promise is going to bless them in a tremendous way. All right. Thank you so much. Instagram, good morning to you. It's good to see you virtually, and certainly praying that those of you in the Instagram space are having a tremendous week so far, and weekend rather so far. If you would do me a favor, fill it up with hearts. I see hearts flying up the screen on Instagram. Fill it up with hearts. And then I want you to hit that @ symbol, and I want you to tag 5 of your friends this morning and tell them to tune in for this powerful message on forgiveness. It's going to be powerful. And I want you to tag 5 people and tell them to tune in. Would you do that for me? And also Instagram, if you haven't already, say good morning in the chat line. Make sure you speak to those that are already there. I know our Instagram church shows up in about another 10 minutes, but we're going to get there. Twitter, Periscope, good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are tuning in via Periscope by way of Twitter, good morning to you. And thank you for tuning in this morning. Hold that heart button down, fill it up with like hearts, and see hearts flying up the screen. And then I want you to hit that @ symbol and tag 5 of your Twitter followers and tell them to tune in. Would you do that? Tag 5 of your Twitter followers, tell them to tune in this morning. And I promise you, this is going to be a tremendous treat. Can't wait to share this message with you. It's not for them, it's for you. And this is going to be powerful. It's going to be challenging. There are messages that we teach sometimes that make you excited. There's some messages that we teach that make you think. There's some messages that, frankly, we teach that make you mad. And so this one's going to make you think, and it might make you a little upset. But I can't wait to share it with you. And I promise you it's going to be a blessing to you. Finally, YouTube, those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to say to all of you on every network that we're on, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to our channel at TheREHABCC. That's at TheREHABCC. If you would subscribe to our channel, that would be wonderful. And if you're on YouTube, would you do me a favor? Not only subscribe, but I want you to hit that like button. And then I want you to share this link with 5 people and tell them to tune in to our live Sunday morning broadcast. And I promise you somebody's going to be blessed because of it. All right. Did I go through all the networks? I'm going to give you 15, 20 seconds quickly to hit the add symbol. If you have not invited anybody to church yet, I want you to hit the add symbol right now and invite 5 people and tell them to tune in. We're getting ready to get prepared for our declaration. I'm going to walk us again through declaration. Then we're going to get right into this powerful lesson. Pastor's doing great on time, and so I've got plenty of time to teach and really deal with what I believe is a very important topic and a very important thing that we should all work to do in all phases of our life. And it's really ironic, though not intentional. I've never been a topical kind of preacher, meaning it's Easter, so I preach about this. It's whatever, I preach about this. But really, today's message really does align with Palm Sunday. In that, Jesus knew what was coming, and he had to deal with people who shouted Hosanna that were getting ready to kill him. And it's a powerful thing when you have to deal with people and you have to impact people and you have to lead people, teach people. Heck, you have to love people that you know are really moments from killing you. It's a powerful thing. And yet, while he's on the cross, he says simply, Father, forgive them. And I'm here to tell you, this is a powerful message today, though not intentional, but really something that the Lord dropped on my heart this week that I can't wait to share with you. I promise you it's going to be a blessing. All right. So if you have not liked, shared, subscribed the video, I need you to do that ASAP. Let's get right into the declaration. I'm excited again to do the declaration with you. And I love our declaration because it is so powerful that everything that we say on the power of life and death is in our mouth. We are able to speak our circumstances into existence. We have that ability. And so you have to be quite careful of everything that you say, because what you say absolutely can come to pass. And so I want you to walk with me through the declaration. I'm going to read it slow, as I always do, and pause to give you an opportunity to repeat after me. But I want you right where you are, living room, couch, sofa, in the car, doesn't matter where you are, right where you are, to pause and take a moment to read this declaration with me. And as I pause, I want you to repeat what I've just said so that we can get through the declaration and get right into the word this morning. All right, let's go with it. Restore. We declare that everything that is broken, lost, hurt, or destroyed that belongs to us and has been designed by God is restored. My faith is restored. My joy is restored. My mind is restored. Even my lost time is restored. I am no longer broken. The fact that I'm alive means I have another chance. My faith has restored me. And right now, his love is making me whole. Evangelize. We declare that God helped us so we can help somebody else. He loved me when I was unlovable. He changed me when I was a mess. His love lifted me when I was down. I'm not perfect, but I'm free. And anything that came for me can't keep me. Because I'm free, my circle is next. My family is saved. My friends are blessed. My plans are successful. My goals are ahead of schedule. And anything connected to me is blessed, just like me. Come on, repeat after me. We declare, hope. We declare that everything that is missing is not lost. In Jesus, I have hope. And this hope makes me confident. It doesn't matter what happens to me or around me. I'm going to win. My relationships are winning. My goals are winning. My family is winning. My neighbor is winning. This city will win, and my row has the victory. My past is defeated, and my future is brighter today than it was yesterday. Alternatives. Repeat after me. We declare that God made us different. I'm a royal child, the light of the world, and the hope of my city. I respect the past, but I don't look like what I've been through. I love the church, and my life is balanced. I love coming to church, but I like flights, boats, and vacations. My whole life is blessed. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am a lender, not a borrower. And every place I go belongs to me. Breakthrough. Repeat after me. We declare that God has a breakthrough with our name on it. I have some challenges, but I am not defeated. No weapon formed against me can prosper. And I know that all things are working for my good. Things are not breaking down. They are about to break through. There is a breakthrough in my career. There is a breakthrough in my home. There is a breakthrough in my health. There is a breakthrough in my finances. I am here on purpose, for a purpose, and everything that went wrong is getting ready to turn around. Did you say that with me? Did you declare that with me this morning? If you did, do me a favor. I want you to drop in the comments really quickly right before we get started. It's already done. Would you do that? Come on, type it in the comments quickly. It's already done. If you have not invited 5 people to church, I want you to hit that @ symbol, type their name, and then type it's already done. I'm here to declare to you, there is a breakthrough, literally a breakthrough with your name on it. Things are not breaking down in your life. Things are about to break through. Things are not breaking up in your life. Things are about to break through. Come on, type it in the comments quickly and emphatically. It's already done. Say it as if you know it's done, and it shall be done. Would you do that for me? It's already done. It's already done. God's working things out for you. He's moving things in your favor. He's moving things on your behalf. You got one job this morning, and that is to believe that it's already done. If you believe it, God's going to do it. I have discovered this, that yes, there's power in our tongue and the things that we say, but God doesn't just respond to what you say. He also responds to what you believe, because you can say something and really not believe it. You can put in it's already done and really not believe it's already done. And so while there is power in our words, he also responds to what we believe. And so you can't just say it and not believe it. I want you to believe this morning that it's already done. And if you do, God's going to do it for you. How? Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. He's going to do it exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could ask or think. And I want you to be excited about that. Now, let's get into the word. We are talking from the subject today. It's not for them. It's for you. It's not for them. It's for you. I want you to put that in the comments quickly. It's not for them. It's for you. Because somebody needs to see this as they are watching live now. Somebody needs to see this as they see the replay later. But put in the comments right now. It's not for them. It's for you. We're going to deal with this topic called forgiveness. And it's going to be a powerful message today. Again, I can't guarantee you that it's going to make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But it is a message that is going to challenge you, because the reality is forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools you can have in your arsenal. that in fact, that if you can live your life and walk in a spirit of forgiveness, you are positioning yourself to be as blessed as you could absolutely imagine. And it's tough. It's tough to forgive. It's not easy to forgive. But the problem is forgiveness really ain't even for them. It's really for you. And so this is going to be a powerful message. I want you to type it in the comments now. It's not for them. It's for you. And let's prepare to teach a powerful message today. I am in St. Matthew. Let me give you a little bit of Bible verse, and then let's get into it. St. Matthew chapter 6, verse 14 through 15, New Living Translation. All right. St. Matthew chapter 6, verse 14 through 15, New Living Translation. All right. Again, St. Matthew chapter 6, verse 14 through 15, New Living Translation. Tag 5 people if you haven't already. I want to read these 2 verses to give us some context to what we're talking about. And then I want to get into how we construct forgiveness, because there's 3 elements to constructing forgiveness. I'm going to give that to you, and then I'm done. But this is going to be a powerful message, and I really want you to sit and listen to me today. All right. Listen to me today. All right. Let's get into this. St. Matthew chapter 6, verse 14 through 15. I'm in the New Living Translation. It says this: if you forgive those who sin against you, your heavenly Father will forgive you. But if you refuse to forgive others, your Father will not forgive your sins. Now, this is a very powerful 2 verses in the book. And what makes these verses so powerful is that it's really a reminder that the only way we truly receive forgiveness in our lives, and this is not just from God, this is from people. The only way we truly receive forgiveness in our lives is when we position ourselves to forgive other people. And the reality of the matter is, it is not fair, it is not reasonable to expect God or other people to forgive you when you are not willing to forgive other people. Now, I get it, because hurt and pain are powerful emotions. All right, listen to me. Hurt and pain are powerful emotions. I understand that when something or somebody hurts you, when something or somebody brings you pain, those are powerful emotions. And those powerful emotions can put up a wall in your spirit that causes you to separate yourself from the offender. But here's the problem, and here's the solution, rather. A strong defense against hurt and pain is forgiveness. I want you to record that. A strong defense against hurt and pain is forgiveness. If you want to defend yourself against what hurt you, the best mechanism to do it is through forgiveness. When you forgive, you are literally positioning yourself to go on the offense against what has offended you, to go on the offense against what has caused you pain, to go on the offense against what has hurt you, right? What has traumatized you. So a strong defense against hurt or pain is forgiveness. When you forgive, you are automatically in offensive mode. And here's the problem. This is how it works. If you think about it from an athletic standpoint, well, not necessarily, you don't have to think about it from an athletic standpoint, but just think about it from an offense-defense standpoint. When you are hurt, when you are in pain, when you are offended, you are automatically in defensive mode, right? And that's natural. This is not to criticize you. Let's just have an honest conversation. When something hurts you, your natural inclination is to get defensive, right? When we're hurt, when we're in pain, we defend. And so in order to overcome that, instead of operating in defensive mode, you have to switch to offensive mode. And we switch to offensive mode by forgiving, because when you begin to forgive how you were offended, you automatically take the sting out of the hurt. Listen to me. You remove the sting from the hurt and the pain when you begin to shift from defense to offense. And we do that through forgiveness. You are going to offend, and the reality is you're going to be offended. I wish I could put your life in a bubble. Lord knows I think about my kids a lot. And sometimes I wish I could just put them in a bubble and protect them from people, from drama, from whatever. The reality is I can't put them in a bubble. We're all going to be offended. And here's the truth of the matter. All of us are going to offend. And if you think you are not going to offend, you're not being true. See, the problem with many people, the reason why many people cannot forgive other people is because there is a certain arrogance that comes with them to actually think that they don't offend people. When you come to grips with the fact that you can sometimes be offensive, it's a whole lot easier to forgive. Are y'all listening to me? When you come to grips with the fact that sometimes you offend people, sometimes you hurt people, sometimes you cause people pain, when you come to that grips of that very notion, you automatically position yourself to be able to forgive, right? And so it's arrogant to think that you're not going to offend people. It's arrogant to think that you're not going to sometime at some point cause someone pain. That's okay. We're all going to offend. We're all going to be offended. But forgiveness is the only response that zaps the power from the offender. Forgiveness is the only response that zaps the power from the offender. Now I hear you, because many of you are saying, well, Pastor, I can't be a punk, because when they offend me and they cause me hurt and pain, then I got to get them back. I got to respond. I got to fight fire with fire. If they do this to me, I got to do it back to them. If they treat me like whatever, I got to treat them like whatever. And here's the problem. The minute you begin to play the same games as the offender, you become just like the offender. The minute you play the same games as the offender, you become just like the offender. The minute you respond like the offender, you become just like the offender. The minute you fight fire with the offender, you become just like the offender. And so you do not make good spiritual progress, good emotional progress. You don't grow personally when you respond to people with the things that they do to you. And I hear you. I hear you. Some of you have been in situations where people have done specific things to you to offend you. And your natural response was to go out and do the same thing to them. And I'm here to tell you that when you do that, you become no better than the person who offended you. Never let offense cause you or turn you into somebody that you're not. Are y'all listening to me? I know I'm dropping a lot of bombs this morning, and the comments are slow, but I hope y'all are digesting it. I don't care. This is the one Sunday where I don't care if you ain't typing a lot. I need you to hear what I'm saying today. I really feel the urge to share this message. Hear what I'm saying. The minute you become like the person who has offended you, or the minute you respond like the person who has offended you, you become just like they are. Okay. And so we don't respond to people according to how they responded to us. Now, this whole idea, well, Pastor, I can't be a punk. I can't be a pushover. People do stuff to me, turn the other cheek. I can't do that, because then if I do it once, people are going to do it twice. And the reason why people take the stance of feeling like a pushover or a chump or a punk or whatever, when you turn the cheek when people have forgiven you, is because your pride is in the way. See, pride is a very dangerous thing. Pride will cause you to react and have you acting out of character instead of acting as the true good person that you are. Let me give you an easy example. Somebody and this is just an easy example, I'm just making up. Somebody tells a lie on you. It's a friend of yours. Somebody tells a lie on you, and your natural inclination is to turn around and tell a lie on them, right? Because you ain't no punk, and you're not gonna let somebody lie on you, and you not turn around and tell a lie back on them. You are operating in pride to the point where it has caused you to become something that you're not. And pride is a dangerous thing. I know it feels hard to literally have someone offend you and then you choose not to return the favor. But let me tell y'all something. Karma's a real thing. Be not deceived. God's not mocked. Whatever you sow, you also reap. And one of the things, I'm just going to give y'all Pastor's playbook. Let me give you a cheat sheet or cheat code in Pastor's playbook. One of the ways I have been able to forgive people in some of the hardest situations I've ever gone through is that I've had to remember that at the end of the day, it ain't my job to judge them. At the end of the day, it ain't my job to save them. At the end of the day, it ain't my job to do to them what they do to me. My job is to love them, forgive them, pray for them, wish them peace, move forward. Because I'm telling you, even when you ask for forgiveness, you've forgiven somebody, even when you ask for forgiveness, there is a price to pay for everything that we do. And so you've got to understand that it's not in your it's not in your place to play judge and executioner when it comes to offense. Your job is simple. Your job is simply to forgive. That's it. And don't feel like people want to run you over. Don't feel like people are getting the best of you. Don't feel like people have a one-up on you because you're forgiving. It's okay. It's okay. It takes humility to forgive. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I want you to record this. This is one thing I do want you to type in the comments. It takes humility to forgive. You might have to cry. You might have to bawl yourself to sleep because you really want to fight. You might have to bawl yourself to sleep because you really want to kick, scream, and cuss. And that's okay. But it takes humility to forgive. I like that, Elder. It takes maturity to forgive. Here's another big word that it takes to forgive. It takes love to forgive. It takes humility to forgive. It takes maturity to forgive. It takes love to forgive. The same Jesus that died on the cross, before he did, literally said, Father, forgive them. They don't even know what they're doing. It takes that same kind of love to forgive people who offend you. It takes maturity to forgive. It takes humility to forgive. It takes love to forgive. Don't y'all forget this. Come on. It takes maturity to forgive. It takes humility to forgive. And it takes love to forgive. When you operate in humility, humbling yourself, removing the pride, removing the sting that comes with pride, but humbling yourself. When you operate in maturity, not playing games and doing the same stuff back. Come on, y'all. Y'all not in 6th grade. Somebody lie on you, you don't have to turn around and lie on them. Right? That's very 6th grade like. Somebody cheat on you, you ain't got to turn around and cheat on them. Are y'all listening? Somebody run you in the ground, you ain't got to turn around and run them in the ground. Somebody call you out your name, you have to turn around and call them out their name. That's very 6th grade like. It takes maturity to have a moment, but rise above the moment of offense and be able to move forward. And frankly, it takes love. Because I'm going to tell you this, it's impossible to be offended by people you don't care about. Are y'all listening to me? See, you can't say you're offended by something if you don't care about it. The precursor to offense is that there has to be some layer of care there in order for whatever happened to even bother you in the first place. See, I don't get offended. I don't get offended, and I'm trying to think of an easy way to describe this. I don't get offended if the Washington Redskins lose, right? This is probably a horrible example. I just can't think of one right now. I don't get offended if the Washington Redskins lose because they ain't my team, and I don't care if they lose, right? You have to have a relationship and some care there to a certain extent in order for it to matter. Now, if my team loses, then I might feel some kind of way because there's a relationship there, there's connection there. So all pastor's trying to say to you is, oftentimes when we are offended by people we really care about. We are offended by things we really care about. And so the offense should never be greater than your care. I know y'all not shouting this morning, but I hope y'all listening. I'm gonna say that again. Your level of offense should not be greater than your level of care. Your level of offense should not be greater than your level of care. In other words, how they offended you should not exceed how much you care about them. Some of y'all thinking, I feel it. I literally can feel the energy off my computer. Some of y'all are thinking, and this is good, but I want to say this again. The level of offense should never rise beyond your level of care for them. That takes humility, y'all. That takes maturity, y'all. That takes love, y'all. So that's the formula. You want to operate in forgiveness, you have to operate in maturity. You have to operate in love, and you must understand that it takes humility. And when you do that, then you are in a position where you realize that the offense is never greater than your care for the person. I want to say this to y'all. People can no longer change or impact your emotions, your attitude, your disposition. People can no longer impact those things when they've been forgiven. And see, the reason why some people really grind your gears right now is not because of what they did. They grind your gears because you have not forgiven them. See, when you forgive people, then they can no longer impact your attitude. They can no longer impact your emotions. They can no longer impact how you feel, your demeanor, your posture. They can no longer turn you into somebody that you're not. And so if anybody is doing any of those things, the issue is not with them. The issue is with you. If people are impacting all of those things, there's a 99% chance that you probably need to forgive them. There's a 99% chance that you probably need to forgive them. All right? Now, when forgiveness is not the response to pain, when forgiveness is not the response to offense, then we end up creating what I call junk piles. When forgiveness is not the response to offense, when forgiveness is not the response to pain, we end up creating what I call junk piles. Pastor, what's a junk pile? A junk pile is nothing more than clutter. We end up creating clutter in our lives. We have these mountains of things that bother us in our lives, in our spirits. And these mountains of things have built up because we have not operated in forgiveness. And you know how clutter works. Clutter doesn't start big, right? When you think about a junky space, when you think about a dirty room, I was fussing at the kids this week about their room. When you think about a dirty room doesn't just turn into a dirty room magically. It starts with little piles of junk, right? Little pockets of junk, pocket over in that corner, pocket under the bed, a pocket in the closet, pocket on the bed, a pocket on the dresser, a pocket under the dresser, a pocket, in the doorway, right? It starts as pockets. And what happens is these little piles of clutter come together to create a large, dirty room. This is the same thing that happens in your spirit. That every time you don't forgive someone, you create a pile of junk. And that pile of junk connects with another pile from somebody else you hadn't forgiven, or something else that you're dealing with or going through. And before you know it, your life, in your spirit, you are consumed with junk. Clutter is the active presence of things that no longer have usefulness. Clutter is the active presence of things that no longer have usefulness. And if somebody has offended you in the past, offended you, ED, in the past, that stuff no longer has use to you. And so the more you continue to digest it, entertain it, not clean it up, not forgive through it, what happens is that pile of junk sits and permeates into your spirit, into your emotions, into your attitude, into your disposition. And before you know it, you become somebody that you're really not, because your spirit is filled with all kinds of piles of stuff that you really need to clean up. See, when we have clutter, when we have piles of junk in a room, it's really a reflection of the inability to let go, right? I saw somebody on Instagram put something up that said hoarders, and that's a really good way to kind of look at it, right? People that hoard things are really people that just don't want to let stuff go. And some of you are hoarding offense. Some of you are hoarding offense. You are literally hoarding offense. You're carrying offense from years. You're carrying offense from people who offended you when you were a young girl, you were a young boy. Here you are, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, and you're still carrying the offense from when you were 15 and 16. And the reality is, junk that's been sitting in your corner for 30 years is some nasty looking junk. Gotta let it go. You have to let go of the offense. Your mind, your spirit, your thoughts, your emotions, your behavior, your disposition, your growth, all of these things are impacted by what you choose to hold on to. So I don't know who I'm talking to this morning, but let me say this to you. I need somebody this week to just let go of the offense. Just let it go. You've got to work to let go of the offense. Because what you don't realize is that clutter is not killing the person who offended you. That clutter is junking up your space. That clutter is junking up your spirit. That clutter is junking up your demeanor. You smiling, but people can see the anger in your smile. You're laughing, but people can see the pain in your laugh. You've got to get rid of the offense. You've got to move on from the offense so that your mind, your spirit, your emotions, your demeanor, attitude, your disposition can all be free to grow. I want to give this to you, and this is something I do want you to type, because we don't have a lot of comments this morning. I'm okay. I really want y'all doing more listening than talking today. But I do want you to type this. This is what I want you to know. You can't go into this new season holding on to pain from the last season. You cannot go into this new season of your life holding on to pain from the last season. Do not, whatever you do, go into this new season of your life holding on to the pain of the last season. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I want to challenge you this morning to let it go. You have to let it go. It's killing you. It's destroying your energy. It's destroying your focus. It's destroying your ability to be everything you've been called to be. Let it go. Don't go into the new season with last season's pain, right? And if you do that, I promise you, you're going to feel a whole lot better. It's going to hurt in the beginning. It's going to sting in the beginning. But I'm telling you, if you let it go, you're going to go into the new season feeling a whole lot better, because you let go of the pain of the offense. You let go of the hurt of the offense. You let go of the drama of the offense. You let go of all of those things. And now you're positioned to receive. See, many of us are blocking our ability to receive because we haven't let go of the pain of the last season. God wants to give you everything you want. He wants to give you everything that you desire. But the best way to position yourself to receive it is to let go of the hurt. Gotta let go of the pain. Gotta let go of the confusion, the heartache, the anxiety. You gotta let that go. And when you do that, you position yourself to receive everything that you've been waiting to receive. Make sense? Now, I'm going to give you, come on, y'all keep liking and sharing. If you have not shared and tagged 5 people into this video, I want you to do it quickly. Doesn't matter what network you're on. Hit that @ symbol and tag 5 people. I'm going to give you 3 ways to construct forgiveness. And then I'm done. I knew this was going to be a heavy message for many of you, and that's okay. I'm going to give you 3 ways to construct forgiveness. And again, I want you to absorb this. Don't care how much you type today. I'm all right. I want you to absorb this today. I'm going to give you 3 ways to construct forgiveness. All right? 3 ways to construct forgiveness. And these are very practical ways, very straightforward ways that I believe will help you. Okay? 3 ways to construct forgiveness. Way number 1. You have to have complete honesty regarding the pain or offense. Way number 1. You must have complete honesty regarding the pain or the offense. Way number 1. You must have complete honesty regarding the pain or the offense. You will never get over what you fail to honestly acknowledge. Listen to me. You will never get over, you will never move beyond, you will never heal from anything that you fail to honestly acknowledge. Some of you are runners. Some of you are avoiders. Instead of acknowledging pain, you would rather act like you don't have any. And the reality is you'll never be able to move beyond a pain that you ignore. You'll never be able to move beyond an offense that you ignore. You'll never be able to move beyond a hurt that you act like don't even exist. You've got to be honest enough to acknowledge it. And part of that acknowledgement, here's more truth for you. Part of that acknowledgement is not only acknowledging what they did, but also acknowledging your role in the situation as well. See, it takes humility. It's easy to point out how people offended us, but it takes humility for us to admit our part in the offense. Are y'all listening to me this morning? See, it's easy to point and say, oh, they did this to me, or they did this to me, or they did make me feel this way, or they offended me this way, or they took this from me, or whatever. That's easy to do. But it takes humility in the absence of pride to take a step back and say, what was my role in this? What was my part in all of this? And see, that's where the real growth is. When you can acknowledge how you were offended, but take it a step further and acknowledge your role in the offense, oh, you are ready to be blessed. You are absolutely positioned to receive everything that you desire. And so I want to say this to you. The devil will make it real convenient for you to play the victim. The devil will make it real convenient for you to point fingers and say, look at what they did. Look at what they did. He'll make that real convenient. Playing the victim, he'll make it real convenient. But hear what I'm saying. Being the victim is a circumstance. Being a conqueror is a choice. I want y'all to remember that. Here's something else that you can type, because I know y'all digesting, but I want you to type this because I need you to feel what I'm saying. Being a victim is a circumstance. That's something you can't avoid. You can't avoid what people do to you. You can't avoid what happens to you in some cases. Being a victim is a circumstance. Being a conqueror is a choice. And if you're going to operate in forgiveness, you got to shift from being a victim to a conqueror. You have to shift from what they did to me and my role in it to how am I going to grow from this and be better because of it. That is a mentality shift where you shift from being a victim to being a conqueror. Being a victim is circumstantial. Being a conqueror is something you choose to be. So you've got to shift out of this victim mentality. You have to shift out of this mentality of everybody doing things to you. You have to recognize your role, even in situations. Learn from it so you can stop beating yourself down, beating yourself up, and shift from victim to conqueror. See, at the root, when we really think about unforgiveness and people, not being willing to forgive, when we really think about unforgiveness, at the root of unforgiveness, frankly, is bitterness and pain. The reason why people don't forgive and they're not as quick to forgive is because of pain and bitterness. Show me somebody who won't forgive. I'll show you somebody who is in pain, and I'll show you somebody who's bitter. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. I don't care what people did to you. I don't care how they offended you. At the core of your inability to forgive is probably either pain and or bitterness. And so you got to deal with the pain that's inside of you. You got to deal with the bitterness that this situation has caused you. And the way you do it is by forgiving. Let me tell you what doesn't work. What doesn't work is acting like you're not bothered. I'm going to say this again, because this is a very fake and a very inauthentic generation we're in. I did a presentation Saturday morning with the honors program at A&T and about 119 scholars, and really broke this down to them well. And I want to share it with you. And had several young people reach out to me just saying they showed up for a leadership talk and their lives changed. I'm going to say the same thing to you that I said to them. This is a very fake and phony generation. Many of you literally walk around and act like things don't bother you, and you think that's noble. When in reality, acting like you're not bothered doesn't mean you're not bothered. It doesn't mean that. And this stuff really translates into so many things that we do on a day-to-day basis. People posting statuses about being so happy and privately you depressed. One of the things that I get criticized about as a pastor, as a spiritual leader, though I see myself as a very non-traditional spiritual leader. And when I say that, I mean not in the sense of what you see most of these pastors. My calling is just different. But I get criticized a lot as a pastor when I post stuff and I'm being transparent. See, most pastors will only post the good stuff. Jesus saves. You're blessed. There's a miracle coming. A picture of their spouses and a house and a white picket fence and the dog and the kids. They only post the good stuff. And what I've discovered in helping people through real problems is that if you are not truthful with them about the reality of life, when life gets hard, they won't know what to do. And so I get criticized by many of my peers. And when I say peers, I mean other preachers, pastors, criticize, screenshot it, sometimes even text it. Are you good? Everything's fine with me. But I've been able to impact lives just by being transparent. There's some days where pastor has a very hard time just getting focused. Just getting focused. There's some days where things bother pastor and pastor's really upset about it. And what I've discovered is that for the normal person, and I don't say that like I'm putting myself on a pedestal, I'm not. But for the normal person, when a normal person sees me post something like, you might be in hurt, you might be in pain, but you gonna make it. I'm a living witness, something like that. I'm just making that up. I'm a living witness. If you're in hurt pain, you're gonna make it. When a normal person sees me post that, you know what it does? It gives them strength to be able to deal with their own stuff. It helps them understand that if that guy over there got to deal with this stuff, if that guy over there dealing with hurt and pain just like I am, and he managing to make it through it, then there's a good chance that I'm gonna be able to make it through too. And so this generation is so fake and phony. You would rather post selfies of you smiling when you was just in the bathroom crying. Y'all don't like this. I know this is tough to swallow this morning. See, you would rather post pictures of you looking like you having a good time, but in your real life, you having a miserable time. And I've just grown and matured to a place where I understand that deliverance is in my transparency. I'm going to say that again, because this is for somebody. Your deliverance is in your transparency. And it don't mean you got to publicly go out. I'm not telling you to go out there and post a status and tell all your business. That's not what I'm saying. But hear what I'm saying. I am saying to you, quit going out there and being fake. Y'all stop. Half of y'all that's posting like you happy are 2 seconds from depression. Stop. Your deliverance is in your transparency. And that's not only publicly, let me take it a step further. It's also privately. If you want to move beyond a fence with somebody, stop being fake with them. Be transparent. If somebody's offended you, stop being fake with them and saying, oh, no, I'm good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. No, be transparent with them. Your deliverance is in your transparency. You can't feel better about nothing you won't first be honest about. You can't. You're better off not posting anything. If you don't feel well, you're better off not posting anything than posting stuff that is not a true reflection of where you really are. Because I'm here to tell you, whether it's Dr. Talley or it's you, there's somebody watching you who will be motivated, who will be healed, who will be helped by your authenticity and what you post, how you post, all of that stuff. And I agree with you, Sandy. People are not ready for that. And the reason they're not is because most people aren't ready to be authentic. They don't, it's one of the things that grinds my gears. I have a few things that grind my gears. Being cut off in traffic grinds my gears, which is why I ain't got no fish on the back of my car, because I'll honk my horn in a minute. Pastor's just being honest. Y'all pray for me. So I got many borderline road rage, just borderline. I don't take it to the extreme like y'all following people and all this. I don't do that. But I'm borderline road rage. There's some things that grind my gears. And one of the things that really grinds my gears, Sandy, to your point, is that unlike any other generation before, this is the generation that spends so much time talking about real. Listen to me. Let me make this make sense to you. This is the generation that spends so much time talking about real. We sing about it in our lyrics. We post about it on social media. We talk about it with friends. I want somebody that's real. I want to be connected to people that's real. I'm going to keep it real. Like, this is the generation that talks so much about being real. But when it comes down to it, this is the same generation that struggles with authenticity. How ironic that the same generation that makes all of this fuss about having real stuff and being real love, real commitment, real relationships, real what, makes all of this fuss about having real stuff is the same generation that cannot handle being their authentic self. The irony that the same generation that claims to declare realness is the same generation that can't be authentic and transparent with the people they love. authentic and transparent with the people that they're around. It's crazy to me. And so it's the times that we're in, but I'm here to tell you, you got to be completely honest about pain. You got to be completely honest about hurt. And that's not only admitting it, it's also admitting your part in it. And when you do, you will see a transformation that comes over your life. You will see a peace that comes over your life that really positions you to be able to forgive and move on. All right. Second way you can construct forgiveness. Is this helping anybody? Second way you can construct forgiveness. Okay. Second way you can construct forgiveness is this. We construct forgiveness by seeking total healing through the pain. We construct forgiveness by seeking total healing through the pain. We construct forgiveness by seeking total healing through the pain. We don't avoid the pain. We don't ignore the pain. We don't act like the pain don't exist. But we end up getting forgiveness by seeking total healing through the pain. You seek total healing through the pain. Right? James 5 tells us, James 5, I think verse 14, 15, 16, something like that, tells us, that if we confess our sins to one another and pray for each other, we would be healed. And see, people want to be healed, but they don't want to confess. And part of being healed is confessing your part. It's confessing that you are in pain. It's confessing that you are hurt. It is confessing your role in the situation, right? See, pain is the barrier that sits between offense and victory. Pain is the barrier that sits between offense and victory. This thing hit me like a brick, a sack of bricks this week. The only thing that's standing between many of you, that's standing right in front of your victory, is the pain that you're dealing with. Pain really is a barrier that sits in between offense and victory. You've been offended, victory's over here, but pain is right in the middle. And so what do? We can't move beyond it until we get healed from it. Can't move beyond the offense until you get healed from the offense. Can't move beyond what they did until you get healed from what they did. Don't care how much you try to smile about it. Don't care how much you try to post through it. Don't care how much you try to shout over it. I'm here to tell you, you can't move beyond it until you're healed from it. You can't, which means you're going to have to be vulnerable. Which means, to your point, Nick, and I think that's a great point as well, you're not only going to have to be vulnerable, you're also going to have to get beyond your feelings. It hurt, yes, but you got to be vulnerable enough to admit where you are so you can be healed from where you are and you can move forward to where you're going. See, you got to stop waiting on people to free you from the pain. Many of you aren't free because you're waiting on people to free you. And the irony of that is you're waiting on the same people who offended you to free you. How can the same people who offended you also turn around and free you? They can't. Even if they apologize, that doesn't free you. Because people can apologize to you, but if you're not in position to receive the apology, it's better off that they keep the apology because the apology won't be impactful. Apologies only work when you are positioned to be able to receive them. I'm going to say this again. Because some of you have been in the offender role where you have offended people and then you wondered why people wouldn't receive your apology. And your apology was sincere. But the reason they could not receive it is because they were not emotionally positioned to be able to receive what you're giving. And when you try to apologize to a person who ain't ready to receive it, you can almost throw oil on a gas fire. See, sometimes before you apologize, your prayer has to be, God, position them to be able, position them to be able to receive the apology I want to give them. If you're owed an apology, your prayer ought to be, God, position me to be able to receive the apology that may come my way. Now, notice I said may come my way, because I don't believe in walking around saying things like people owe me an apology, because the reality is sometimes you got to give yourself closure. There's some apologies. I hate to break the news to you. There are some apologies you will never get. I feel like this is too heavy for y'all. There are some apologies you will never receive. There are some apologies you will end up in the grave first before you get the apology. There are some apologies, they will end up in a grave first before you get the apology. There are some apologies, folks, you will never receive. And pastors not being insensitive, pastors not being rude or unkind, pastors being honest. There are some apologies you will never receive. The best thing you can do is stop waiting on closure and go get your own closure. Stop waiting on them to heal you. Go get your own healing. Stop waiting on them to make it right by you and make it right by yourself. That's what forgiveness does. Because see, when you forgive people, if they never apologize, if they never acknowledge their role in it, if they never acknowledge their part in it, you can live in peace knowing you did everything you could. You can live in peace knowing you did everything right, everything you tried, everything you could. And so I don't know who I'm talking to, but some of you just need to free yourself today. Stop waiting on the apology. Stop waiting on people to be to you what you are to them. Stop. Just stop. Stop. Let that go and free yourself. And understand this. If you made the decision to be hurt, you can also make the decision to be free. If you made the decision to be hurt, you can also make the decision to be free. Because being hurt is a choice. Being offended is a choice. Are y'all listening to me? I don't know who this is for, but I know it's for somebody today. In addition to me, I'm actually teaching to myself today. I can be transparent and admit that. If being hurt was a choice, you made the decision to be hurt, you can also make the decision to be free today. And so stop waiting on people to give you closure. Stop waiting on people to give you an apology you may never receive. It may not come. I ain't gonna say it ain't coming. But let me tell you something. When you posture yourself in forgiveness, you start to walk in healing and maturity and self-awareness and humility and love. When you start to walk in those things, let me tell you what happens. Then your life radiates an energy out. And it radiates an energy out so strong that, believe it or not, even the people that offended you, if they never apologize, will be able to see the kind of energy you have. Will be able to see the kind of love you're radiating. And so you got to do it for you. You can't go into the new season holding pain from the last season. You can't act like you're not bothered when you are bothered. And if you made the decision to be hurt, you got to make the decision to be free. And stop holding people accountable for your freedom. It's not their responsibility. Stop holding people accountable for your happiness. It's not their responsibility. As much as you would like for people to make you happy, at the end of the day, it's not their responsibility. Happiness has to start with you. Freedom has to start with you. And then any other happiness that anybody else gives to you, freedom that anybody else gives to you, love that anybody else gives to you, support that anybody else gives to you, it's just the icing on the proverbial cake. But it starts with you. People are not responsible for making you happy. People are not responsible for making you feel better. People are not responsible for making you feel better about your own life. In fact, the honest truth is most people are so unaware of how their behavior impacts people. They're so clueless as to how their behavior impacts people that they don't care nothing about how it impacts you or not. There's some real life savages out here. Are y'all listening to me? There are some real life savages out here. And so you are trying to depend on people to make you feel better about you. And I'm here to tell you, you got to start feeling better about you. You got to start feeling better about you. And when you start feeling better about you, then anything you get from people, good or bad, indifferent, it don't matter. It's just a bonus. It just is what it is. All right? Third way to construct forgiveness, and I'm done. I hope it's blessing somebody today. Third way to construct forgiveness is this. Move into a space of total and complete trust. Move into a space of what I call total and complete trust. Move into a space of total and complete trust. See, our natural response to pain, our natural response to being hurt, our natural response to being offended is to lose trust. And that's okay. I don't want to paint an unrealistic picture to you. It's okay. If people offend you, it is okay to feel like you don't want to trust people. Right? If people cause you pain, it's okay to feel like you don't want to trust people. That's natural. That's normal. And if anybody else tells you that, anything different, then they're not being truthful with you, which is why I pray for people who have been offended, not that they'll be healed per se. I do pray for that. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, Dr. Talley, can you pray for me? I was offended, and pray for my pain that I move on from that. I pray that you move on from the pain, but let me tell you something else that I pray for. I pray that you don't turn into what offended you. My larger prayer for you is that you don't turn into the very thing that offended you. See, there's a lot of savages out here. While we're talking on savages, there's a lot of people out here that are stone cold savages that ain't always been that way. Let me help y'all. They became savages because they were offended. And instead of them turning that offense and using that offense as a way to be able to learn and to grow and to become better people, they took the offense. The offense hardened their heart, and they became the same person that hurt them. And you cannot, I'm preaching to myself, you cannot become the same thing that hurt you. Listen to me. Do not become the same thing that hurt you. This is how people turn into savages. This is how people, grow bitter and grow into things that they're not. Somebody cheat on you, what you do? You go out here and cheat on them. Somebody lie on you, what you do? You go out and lie on them. Somebody rude and mean to you, what you do? You go out and be rude and mean to somebody else, or rude and mean back. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't turn into the thing that offended you. And so that's my greater prayer. It ain't that God delivers you from the pain. He'll do that. My prayer is that what you went through does not turn you into somebody you're not. What you went through does not turn you into somebody that you're not. And I don't want your life to get way off the track because of somebody's offense. Right? And so, we got to stop. We talked about it earlier. You got to stop acting like stuff didn't hurt you when it did. Stop dancing around, prancing around like you're over it when you're not. And understand that even if you're hurt, you can't hide your hurt behind trust issues. Some of us are penalizing our future because of stuff that happened in the past. In other words, there's a whole future out here that's waiting on you, that's waiting to bless you, that's waiting to be good to you, that's waiting to be kind to you, that's waiting to love you, that's waiting to appreciate you, that's waiting to celebrate you. There's a whole future out here that's waiting on you. But you will never be able to be kind to your future if you're still bitter about your past. Y'all listening to me? You'll never be able to be kind and receive the future that's coming for you if you're still bitter about your past, if you're still bitter about where you are. Because sometimes some of you ain't in your past. Some of you it's in your present. You're dealing with it now. So let's put present in there as well. You can't be kind to the future if you're bitter about your present and your past. You gotta be healed from that. It's gonna hurt. Here's the truth. The other preacher probably gonna tell you this. You're gonna cry. You're gonna cry a lot. If you any kind of decent person and you ain't no savage, you're gonna cry. You're gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt bad. You're gonna have some moments where you feel like you're literally losing it and falling apart on the seams. That's okay. Don't fight that. Embrace that. You know what I discovered? Crying don't make you weak. And I'm especially talking to you men out there. Crying don't make you weak. Crying actually makes you a gentle giant. Listen to what I'm saying. Embrace that. It's okay. Have your moment. Just don't let your moment turn into your future. It's okay to have a moment, but don't give that moment momentum. See, when you keep having the same moments build momentum. I can't really talk about this a lot today. It's in my 4th book. I talk about this. See, many of us, our lives are spiraled out of control because the moments, we didn't manage the moment. And if you keep having the same moments over and over and over, that builds momentum. And it's hard to stop momentum. And consistent bad moments can create bad momentum. Listen, do y'all want to know what depression is? You ready for this? You know what depression is? Depression is consistent bad moments. Listen to me. Listen to me. Depression is consistent bad moments. It is bad moments that are happening in a consistent manner. And when those moments, consistent bad moments, continue, it builds momentum. So depression is nothing more than a momentum of bad moments. So how do you stop depression? You defeat depression by managing your bad moment. I'm trying to help y'all. Somebody's tuned in that's had to battle depression. You stop depression by managing the bad moment. How do we manage the bad moment, Pastor? We acknowledge it. We let it have its course. We don't fight it. Right? You don't want to cry. You don't want to be a crybaby. You don't want to let that negative emotion out. You bottle it in, and all that does is just build momentum. No, you got to have your moment. Even if you got to go somewhere, sit in the quiet corner somewhere, get in your car, ride down the highway, roll down the windows, and just start cussing the air out. I've done that. Kirk Franklin ain't got nothing on me. When I tell you I know how to put together some cuss words, I mean, I mean, compound cuss words. I can put two and three together. You'd be like, I ain't never heard that. I'm good. You got to get in your car, ride down the highway, roll down the window, and cuss the air out. Let that bad energy out. Stop holding it in. Because when you don't, bad moments that build inside of you create depression. You create negative momentum. And depression is nothing more than negative momentum. That's it. That's all it is. And so the best way to regain trust, and I close with this, is to redirect your source of trust. You have to redirect your source of trust, not in people, not in circumstances. Because the reality is you can believe in people all day. You can, want more for people all day. You can think people have potential all day. You can desire things with people. You can do that all day long. But until people get it, sometimes that becomes detrimental to your well-being. You got to redirect your source of trust and start putting your trust back in yourself. Start putting your trust back in God. If it strayed from God, start putting your trust back in God. And understand that then it becomes easier to trust people when you know you got a safety net. I get this question. I got this question. I was talking to a mentee Tuesday, I believe it was, Monday or Tuesday. And he asked me, he said, how can you have trust in people that have offended you? And it's an interesting question. How can you have trust in people who have offended you? It's a tough question, but here's the answer. It's easy for you to trust even people who offended you when you know that trusting God gives you a safety net. In other words, He's not going to let you fall. He's not going to let you experience something that, even if it's real traumatic and it's hurtful, if your trust is in Him, He's not going to let you experience something that you can't recover from. And that's the last word that I want to give you. If you've been offended, forgive. And here's why. Because you can recover. I want you to put it in the comments. It's the last thing I have to say to you. You can recover. You can recover. You were offended, but you can recover. You were hurt, but you can recover. You went through a difficult moment. You had a series of bad moments that turned into bad momentum. You can recover. Now, forget can. I got a better one than that. You will recover. You will recover. And you have to believe that in spite of, you will recover. You gotta walk in that. You gotta be confident in that. You've got to be assured in that to know that you will recover. But it starts with forgiveness. Forgive, man. Y'all let that stuff go. Some of y'all ain't been talking to family members for years. Let that stuff go. Forgive. Some of you are at odds with people who offended you. They didn't even mean to do it. Some of you are at odds with people who offended you on purpose. It's okay. Let it go. Life's short. Life is short. I shared with somebody, I think it was Friday, and I'll say it to you publicly. If something happened to me tomorrow, I know I'm going to be all right knowing I did everything I could. When you have done everything you can by people, you've forgiven people, you've been the best version of you to other people, then you can live. You're going to be all right. But you gotta let the hurt go. You gotta let the pain go. You gotta forgive so you can move forward. All right. This message bless anybody today? If it did, let me see some hearts on the screen, because I'm telling you, you will recover from this. I don't care what offended you, what's hurting you. You will recover. But the way to do it, step number one, is to forgive. You gotta forgive. You have to forgive. It is the key to living a prosperous life. It is the key to living a blessed life. It is a key to living a stress-free life. It is a key to living a life that unlocks everything that you're going to receive. Forgive. Y'all let that stuff go. Let it go. Let it go and forgive. And then watch how God blesses you. Listen, I want to pray for you today. This is the third week that I've been praying for just you. I haven't even prayed for myself in weeks. And these have been 2-3 very interesting and very challenging weeks for Pastor. I'll just be candid with you. Very hard weeks for me. But I feel the prayers of those that have been praying, and I appreciate that. Listen, I'm going to go into week 4. I want to pray for you this week. You got a prayer request? I want you to type it in the comments. If you've got a prayer request that is too personal that you can't type, I want you to email it to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. Email your prayer request, subject line prayer request. And I'll get the prayer request and I'll be praying for you. Would you put it in the comments? Come on, type your prayer request. I'm giving you 60 seconds. I'm making great time. I'm giving you 60 seconds. I want you to type your prayer request now, because this week I want to pray for you. I want to pray for your situation, your circumstance. I want to pray for everything that you're dealing with and going through. This week, I want to pray for your ability to forgive. Some of you need to make a list of people this week, and the list is not going to be the list of people that you're waiting on an apology from. Some of you need to make a list of people that you need to forgive. Make that list and then start forgiving them. And watch how God positions you to become a blessing magnet. Like literally, blessings are going to be attacking you and magnetizing themselves towards you because you made a conscious decision to redirect your energy and to forgive. Forgive. It is my prayer that you find the strength this week to forgive. Come on, good. I see them coming. They're pouring in now. Look at this. Wow, I love it. Come on. Come on, Facebook. Y'all are a little slow with the prayer requests this morning. Come on, I want you to type them in. Instagram's on fire this morning. YouTube on fire this morning. I want you to type in your prayer requests quickly. I'm giving you 30 more seconds. I'm giving you 30 more seconds. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for the things that you've applied for. Praying for the things you've auditioned for. I'm praying for your sick family members. I'm praying for your relationships. I'm praying for your mind. I'm praying for your hurt. I'm praying for any ounce of pain and fear and doubt and worry and anxiety that you may be facing. God's going to turn this thing around for you. And it ain't going to start with other people. It's going to start with you. I'm praying for you. Come on. Connect your hands like this is a sign, a symbol of faith. Quickly. I want to pray for you. I want to pray for you. I want to pray for you. Are you ready? Are your hands connected like this? We can't touch hands, unfortunately, still. But are your hands connected like this? Let's pray. I want us to pray together. Are you ready? Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, thank you today for your word. Thank you for this time of sharing you've given us. Thank you for this opportunity that you've given us to talk about something that is very honestly challenging. If we can be human, God, it is challenging to forgive people. It is challenging to look beyond offense. So thank you for dropping this word into my heart. I truly believe that today, somebody watching live or watching the replay is hearing the exact word that they need to unlock every blessing in their lives. So God, I pray this one favor, that everybody under the sound of my voice that's listening to this prayer would find and dig deeper into their spirit and find the ability to forgive and let go. And God, when they do it, I ask you to unlock everything they've been waiting for. God, I ask you that when we let go and forgive, that you would unlock every prayer that we prayed for, everything we've been waiting for, every hope that we've desired. I pray, God, that you would unlock it this week as we literally forgive and let go of every way we've been offended, every way we've been in pain. As we let it go, I pray that you would let go. That you would let go and release unto us everything that we believed you for. Not just that, God, but for every prayer request that's on this line, for every prayer request that's in my inbox, we speak to these requests now. And we ask, God, that you would answer the prayers of your people, that you would make ways out of no way, that you would open doors that have never been opened before, and that you would grant manifested expectations like never before. God, we thank you for these things, and we count them done in Jesus' name. Amen. Would you type in the comments right now? It is so. What a powerful prayer that was. It is so. Come on. It is so. It is so. If you prayed with me, if you had a prayer request that you dropped in the comments, I want you to put in the comments now. It is so. It is so. Amen simply means it is so. So all you're doing is sealing the prayer, and you're believing and connecting with me that God's going to do it this week. I'm telling you that I felt that thing in my stomach just now. That I literally hear the Lord saying that when you let it go, I'm going to let it go. When you let it go, I'm going to let it go. Everything you've been holding on to, everything you have not been able to move beyond, the offense, the pain, can't believe they did this, can't believe they said this, can't believe they treated you this way, can't believe they acted this way to it. God says, when you let that go, then everything you've been waiting for, I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to drop it into your life. And I'm going to deposit it into your life in ways you have never experienced before. Listen, you want to be saved today? If you're tuned in, watching the broadcast, watching the broadcast live, if you want to be saved today, I want you to stop what you're doing because I want to pray with you. I just be getting thoughts and I have to record them because I don't want to forget. You want to be saved today? Remember Romans 10:9. Confess with your mouth, believe in your heart. Jesus Christ is who he did what he did on this great Palm Sunday. You are saved. God wants to save you. If you want to be saved, I want you to stop what you're doing right now. And I want you to repeat this prayer with me. All right? Come on, say it with me now. I'm a sinner. I'm not perfect. I've made some mistakes. I have some flaws. And I even have some failures. But right now, I do believe that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, lived on this earth just like I'm living. He suffered, bled, and died on the cross. But 3 days later, rose again for my sins. Because he lives, I can live, and I am saved. My friends, if you prayed that prayer with me, I want to welcome you to the royal family of Jesus Christ. You have made a decision today that is going to change the rest of your life. Now, I need you to do me a favor. Now that you've given your life to Christ, I need you to find you a church home somewhere. Some churches are starting to slowly open back up. Others of us are still not there yet. Doesn't matter whether it's virtual, face-to-face, find you a church home. I want you to be a part of that church so that you can continue to grow in your faith. The reality of the matter is you can gain strength by being surrounded with other believers, by other believers. Find some other believers who believe the same things that you're believing and go continue to grow in your faith. Maybe you like the Rehab Christian Center and you want to be a part of our ministry. We certainly welcome you to be a part of our ministry. I would love to be your pastor and walk alongside you on this journey that is your life. And so I want to challenge you today. If you're looking for a church home, if you're looking for a place to call home, you should see moderators on the screen. Simply like their comments, and they will give you some information, and you will be able to then be a part of the place that I call the perfect place for imperfect people. And I would love to be your pastor, would love to walk alongside you on this awesome journey that is your life. Hear me. Everything that you desire for your life, you can attract into your life. But you got to make the choice today to forgive. You've got to make the choice today. You've got to make the choice today to move beyond where you are, to move beyond the offense of where you are, so that you can grow and be everything that you've been called to be. I'm believing God for you today, and I'm so excited for what's to come in your life. Listen, I want to challenge you to give quickly. I want to challenge you to give quickly. This message, this broadcast has been a blessing to you. If this ministry has been a blessing to you, I want to challenge you today to give. You should see it on your screen. There are 3 ways you can give and be a blessing to us. I want to thank all of you, even during this virtual environment, for how you have been so impactful into our ministry by the way you have given. And I want to challenge you to give today. There are 3 ways you can give. You can give via CashAPP at $REHABCCGIVE. That's $REHABCCGIVE. You can give online, www.rehabcc.org. Or you can give through your cell phone by texting REHABWORKS. Text REHABWORKS to 88202. Text REHABWORKS to 88202. And either 3 of these methods, you can give and be a blessing to our ministry. We have fed and clothed over 20,000 people in less than 7 years, and we did it by how people give. We believe in giving back to the community and impacting our community. And so I want to challenge you today to give like never before. Again, these are the 3 ways you can give: via CashAPP, $REHABCCGIVE, through our website, www.rehabcc.org. Or you can also give through cell phone, through your cell phone by texting REHABWORKS to 88202. That's REHABWORKS to 88202. And you can give either of one of those 3 ways, and I promise you God is going to bless you. How? Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, and running over. Listen, I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm out of time, but certainly not out of word. Do me a favor. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channels. Share this video with at least 5 people today. It was a powerful message on forgiveness that I hope somebody needed to hear. I want you to like and share this video, and then do me a favor. Make plans to tune in on Tuesday, 7:08 p.m. I'll have a powerful message for you, 40-minute message for you on Tuesday, and I can't wait to see you there. All right? Listen, y'all, I love y'all with everything in me. I'm praying for you. Do me a favor. Pray for me. And I cannot wait to see you this Tuesday, 7:08 p.m. right here at the Rehab Christian Center. All right? I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. Have a tremendous and fantastic week. Peace and blessings.
Thank you for watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by CashAPP at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encouraged, enlightened, and empowered you to be better. Please tune in Tuesday at 7:08 p.m. for our life study experience. And as always, be blessed.